So we loaded the iron ore, and iron ore is a rotten cargo to carry. When the weather is rough, you do roll. So we come out, scuttled back down to Gibraltar, formed the convoy again, out into the Atlantic, but this time we shot up the coast of Spain, across the Bay of Biscay, into the western approaches, into the Bristol Channel, and into Swansea. It was for the steelworks in Cardiff. Well, when you sign on a ship, foreign going, you sign articles, and these articles state that when you come back to English port, you can sign off, and they've got to provide you with a rail warrant to the port where you signed on. So we got our rail warrants across from Wales to London, across London to Victoria Station, up home. Me swaggering, I was a good lad then. I was a deep sea sailor then, proud as punch, chest out, walked up Church Street, home. Couple of days at home, you get fed up. So I goes down to the Pole. Now the Pole was where all these seamen signed on and was sent to different ships to make crews up. So I goes in, and the bloke said to me, you're going to the Empire Shearwater. Oh, I thought, Empire Shearwater, they're brand new ships. He said, it's round at Gray's old yard. So I goes round to Gray's old yard. Oh, my heart dropped again. It wasn't a brand new ship, it was another old tramp steamer. So I goes aboard, and I found out it was an American ship, had been damaged in the war, had been hit by a bomb and machine gun and that. And the British government had bought it off the American owners, because we were losing a lot of ships, and they were running it. It wasn't a bad one. So we got to know all the crew, sailed again, nothing in the holds. So I thought, oh, where we going to go now? So we comes out, turns north again, up the coast again, and ended the Pentland Firth. Now, when we went in there, we goes under the Firth of Forth Bridge. You know, this is a link between Scotland and England. When you go underneath the railway and the road bridges, massive thing. Past Rosyth, that was the naval base, up to Methil. And when I looked, coal stays. I thought, oh no, we haven't come away here to get coal to go down to London again. So we loaded the coal. Then the old sailors all grumbling. I didn't know then that Scotland, there was no pubs opened on a Sunday, and that's what they were all grumbling about. Anyway, we loaded the coal, washed the ship down, headed out, same procedure, up the coast of Scotland, through the Pentland Firth. This time we went to Oban. A lot of you will know Oban is now a holiday resort, but there in the wartime the Navy took it over. We went in there, waited for the convoy to form. Outside again, the sheepdog, the destroyer, going round, shipping you all into lines. And we had one in front, one either side, this is for the landlubbers, and one astern. So we started over the Atlantic again. We goes, and then the German submarines wouldn't waste their torpedoes on empty ships. They were waiting for them loaded coming back. So we goes, and then we got into the iceberg zone, and the old sailors told me, you'll see them coming down as big as St. Paul's. And they said, remember, the ice, the sea on top, there's more under the water. Well, you know about the Titanic getting sunk by iceberg. You have to be on your guard, this thing. And I've seen some of these. Bye. You can smell them anywhere. Your nostrils grow cold when they're coming down. I didn't polar bears on these. So we goes, and then we come to the fleet. Blue Nose schooners. These are fishing boats out in Newfoundland. And these are real hard men, these. They come out to the Grand Banks of Newfoundland to fish for cod. And on these boats, they have little dories where one man in, and they put them over the side, the one man in the middle of the ocean, and they fish on lines, and when they fill their boat, they go back to the mothership. Now, there's all these big steamers coming across. They have to watch them and all. So we passes them, and then the captain says, we're going to Newfoundland, St. John's. So we goes, well, you come to the Newfoundland is well known for the fog banks. The cold air coming down from the north, meeting the hot air coming up from the south with the Gulf Stream, causes a fog. Well, we went through this fog, and all of a sudden we come out and we seen these cliffs. So we seen this opening, so we goes into Newfoundland Harbour, St. John's. What a clapped out place that was. Man, they were good people. We did it. I'll tell you about that later, because I went back there a few years later. What a change. We goes in, starts to unload. We'll unload with our own derricks. And they coming with us in carts to fill it with the coal. It took us 3 weeks to unload. So we unloaded, washed the ship down again, out, and they told us we were going to St. John, not St. John, St. John, New Brunswick. So we goes down into the Bay of Lundy. Now this is a place that has the highest rise and fall of tide in the world. You go in, 1 minute you're on the bottom of the harbour, the next minute you're above the quay. It's so fast. Also in there is what you call the reversing waterfalls. I wouldn't believe the old salts of this. I thought they were kidding me, pulling my leg. But I went on, there's a bridge across this river, and when the tide's out, the river flows out and the waterfall goes into the harbour. When the tide comes in, it goes the other way across. I wouldn't believe it. I went on the bridge and watched it myself. Anyway, we loaded general cargo and started down to Halifax, Nova Scotia, where all the convoys were formed to come back to England. Now this you're getting into the dangerous thing now, the loaded ships. We come out of Newfoundland, out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, formed up into the convoy, shepherded again. Well, when you form into convoys and the Commodore's in charge, you didn't come straight across, you had to zigzag, and the Commodore told the skippers when to zigzag. During the day it was by Aldous lamp. This is a lamp, a very powerful lamp, and all the mates and the skipper on the bridge all knew Morse. They knew that. During the day the flags went up on the mast, and they knew. You turned right, you turned left. It took you twice as long to come across the Atlantic as it does nowadays. So the second day out, we goes to bed. During the night, boom. One ship on the starboard bow, starboard side of the convoy, went up. The only trouble is, in these times, you couldn't stop to pick any men up out the sea. Used to break your heart. It was only these destroyers used to slow down a bit and pick what they could up. Then there was another one went up. Then another one. See, these submarines used to hunt in packs, and they used to wait for the loaded convoys coming back to England. So we go through this, and they followed us all the way and knocking ships off all the time. I won't tell you all the gory details, but we got through it. Then we come in, and the old salt said to us, now we're coming into the really danger zone. I said, what do you mean? We've just come through that lot. He said, now the aeroplanes can come, the range of the aeroplanes. First, it's one aeroplane, the Scout. It circles the convoy around, then it sends its message home, and then they come out, the aeroplanes, dropping bombs and that at you. Anyway, we get through that. Comes in, the best sight I've seen, Scotland and the Hebrides, when you go up in between, home at last. So you go up there, through the Pentland Firth, go down the east coast of England then, and we went down to Hull and discharged the cargo at Hull. As usual, paid off. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you, we left the sailor in Newfoundland. He'd hurt his foot. We put him in hospital, and we had to leave him there. This is an important part of the story. We goes to Hull, pays off, gets our rail tickets, comes home to Hartlepool, and as I'm walking down the street to go home, everybody's staring at me. And I thought, oh, what's the matter with me? What have I done wrong now? But then this woman stops me. She said, you dead, you drowned. I said, I can't be, I'm walking here, aren't I? So I get home, and my grandmother tells me that this lad we'd left in hospital in Newfoundland had got home before us and give the story out. The ship had been sunk, he was the only survivor, playing the hero, and we were all dead.